What's up, everyone? Today is August 22nd of 2023. In today's video, we'll be discussing the death of former college basketball player Reggie Chaney, who was set to play in Greece this year, dead at the age of 23, and of course, no cause of death is being given. A lot of people have their theories about what caused this death, but in this video, we're going to explore the numerical side of things, as we always do on this channel. The language of Gematria is an incredibly important component of numerology that's typically hidden from the public, and when you start to pay attention to this code, it's very clear to see why. Reggie Chaney, according to most of his biographies on the internet, was born on the date 9/9/1999. And in this video, we're going to talk about how an upside down 99 or 666 is heavily coded into this story. Reggie Chaney played basketball for two different colleges. He started at the University of Arkansas before transferring to the University of Houston for the second 2 years of his college career. Next year, in 2024, the states of both Texas and Arkansas will be split by a total solar eclipse on April 8th, this being the second of two Great American total solar eclipses in a little over 6 years. Chaney has reportedly died on August 21st, which was the anniversary of the first Great American total solar eclipse that passed over the United States in 2017. And what's so remarkable about these eclipses is that they are separated by 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days. So we'll be talking a lot about that as we go. Since Chaney played at Houston, there's also a big riddle with Beyonce that we'll talk about towards the end of this video. Now, back in February, I made a video after Beyonce broke the record for most Grammys ever won. And you can find that video on my channel. And what's interesting is that that video talks about how it's connected to basketball. Beyonce broke the record at the Crypto.com arena, which was the same arena LeBron James broke the scoring record at just a few days prior. During the Grammys, a significant earthquake broke out in Turkey and Syria. And again, you can find this video on my channel. So we'll talk about how Beyonce, who's from Houston, Texas, is coded in with this as well. Now remember, my last video on this channel, actually 2 videos ago, I talked about Hurricane Hillary and how this was synced up with Hurricane Harvey, which leveled the city of Houston. So we've been talking about Houston on this channel, leading into today's story. Notice how Reggie Chaney died 231 days before the total solar eclipse over both Texas and Houston. Today's news, published on the 22nd, falls 230 days before that eclipse. In the language of Gematria, the Arkansas Razorbacks equals 231, while the Houston Cougars sums to 230. Again, the names of both of the teams he played for. You'll also notice that the University of Houston had a 231 in its age on the date of Chaney's death. But this 230 stands out for another reason. Chaney died at the age of 23, and of course the number 230 represents 23. However, if you measure from his passing on August 21st to the date of the second Great American Eclipse, we also find this is exactly 33 weeks before the eclipse. And we always see this, right? The word eclipse sums to 33 in reduction. And as we go, we'll see how this all syncs up with Beyonce, whose birth name sums to 330 in reverse. The name Beyonce on its own sums to 33 in reduction. What we're looking at here is the base 4 methods of Gematria. This all starts with the alphabetic order and branches off into the base 4 methods, where the order can either be reversed or reduced. Now, when you write out the number 33, you get this significant number of 156 in the standard alphabetic order. And this number 156 is another massively significant eclipse number. Consider how eclipses always occur 1, 5, or 6 lunar phases after the last one. In English, eclipse the sun equals 156, while the word for eclipse is 156 in Hebrew. Chaney started his career playing for Arkansas, and notice how Arkansas was admitted to the Union on the 15th of June, the date written 15/6 on the calendar. Its team mascot is the Razorbacks, and in the reverse order, Razorbacks sums to 156. Now this is all connected to the 666 code, and I talk a lot about 666 in connection with eclipses. After I'm done with this video, I'll link this PDF file below, which explains how the number 666 is so significant to the moon and solar eclipses. Well, when you write out 666 or triple sixes in the alphabetic order, it sums to 156. So this brings us back to the fact that Reggie Chaney was reportedly born on September 9th of 1999. Now, curiously, there's other sites that list his birthday as September 6th, and we'll talk about that number as well. But this 9999 is so fascinating, as he was allegedly born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and when abbreviated, Tulsa OK sums to 99 and 90. In reverse Sumerian, which is the alphabetic order times 6, the name Reggie using this method sums to 666. And not only did he die on the 6th anniversary of the first Great American Eclipse, but he also died 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days before the second eclipse. On today's date, when we learned of his passing, the University of Arkansas, which was established back in 1871, was 55,666 days old. In the reverse Pythagorean method, Arkansas equals 60, while Razorbacks equals 66. The name Beyonce Knowles, her common birth name, sums to 60 and 66. And consider how the name Reggie Chaney, each of these names is made up of 6 letters apiece. The University of Arkansas was established on March 27th. Now, this was the same date in history that the Golden Gate Bridge was inaugurated. And think about this date as it's written here in the United States, 327. In reverse standard Gematria, a method which is constructed similarly to ancient Hebrew Gematria and Greek isopsephy methods, but uses the current 26-letter alphabet in reverse. Notice how Razorbacks sums to 3027, while 666 equals 3207. Chaney died on a date with a life lesson number of 36. And the 36th triangular number is 666, which is of course made up of 3 sixes. So there's 2 sources online, at least, that actually list his birthday as September 6th. And see if I can find this. See this? It says September 6th instead of September 9th. And I always think it's strange when they mess up a birthday, especially when it's the same digit but upside down. Well, the date September 6th can be written 6/9. And this is another number that's huge to the eclipse code. The word eclipse sums to 69. So does eclipse the sun and eclipse of the sun. All of these with 69 gematria. The name Beyonce also sums to 69 in ordinal, with the S exception, Beyonce Knowles, 69. Well, the 69th prime number is 347, and measuring from his September 9th birthday, we find he died 347 days later. The last college he played for, University of Houston, sums to 347 with capital letters. This capitals added cipher, still based in the alphabetic order, but adds 26 for each capital letter. In Hebrew, the word for sacrifice, also 347. So once again, these two eclipses in the United States here, separated by 6 years, 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days. Well, he died on the anniversary of the first eclipse, which was the 233rd day of the year. And notice how Houston, Texas sums to 233 in that same capitals added cipher. Now, when the 2017 eclipse occurred, Hurricane Harvey was brewing over the Gulf of Mexico. It formed 4 days before the eclipse and made landfall about 4 days after the eclipse. Now, once again, I talked about this hurricane recently in my video on Hurricane Hillary. That tropical storm became a hurricane exactly 8 years, or 6 years, after the formation of Hurricane Harvey. And Hillary Duff was born in Houston. So if you measure from the 2017 eclipse to Reggie Chaney's death, you get exactly 6 years, or exactly 313 weeks. Now, 313 is found in the gematria of Arkansas, the first team he played for. But notice how in the alphabetic order, 636, the way that 666 is written in the King James Bible, this has gematria of 313. Now, 313 was a big number of focus in my video on Beyonce breaking the Grammys record. 313 is the 65th prime number, and Beyonce broke the Grammys record at the 65th edition of the Grammys. Notice how Chaney died 6 months and 16 days after she broke the record. In Latin gematria, ritual sacrifice sums to 616. This Latin cipher, or Agrippa's key, what I consider to be the most significant cipher of gematria. Now, in that video, I mentioned the number 94 a few times. In ordinal, Queen Bey sums to 94. And this is said to be her primary nickname, Queen Bey. Well, 94 is interesting in relation to Beyonce because she was born on September 4th, the date written 9/4. On top of that, her birthday has standard birth numerology of 94. If you measure from the birthday of Beyonce to the September 9th birthday of Reggie Chaney, you get exactly a span of 940 weeks. The Houston Cougars sums to 94. And Beyonce from Houston is now over 40, so I wonder if that makes her a cougar. But 94 is also found in the reduction gematria of ritual human sacrifice. 94. Now, in the reverse cipher, this phrase sums to 131. And 131 is the 32nd prime number. Notice how Beyonce also had birth numerology of 32, And when she broke the record for most Grammys won this year, it was with her 32nd Grammy victory. In reverse reduction, Houston sums to 32. And when Reggie Chaney played for the Houston Cougars, he wore number 32. In the standard 26-letter alphabetic order, Beyonce's full name, Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter, equals 302. Her nickname, Bey, also equals 32. Queen Bey even equals 32 in the same cipher as Houston. So next up, I want to talk about this major skull and bones riddle, which has been running all year. Now, Skull and Bones is home to is situated in Yale University. And Yale University turns 322 years old in 2023, which stands out because Skull and Bones uses the number 322 on its emblem. And in Gematria, skull and crossbones equals 223. Well, when Yale has that special 322nd birthday this year, notice how Beyonce will be 505 months and 5 days old. And Beyonce equals 505 in Latin Gematria. Remember, in the capitals mixed cipher of Gematria, the city of Houston sums to 223, the special skull and bones number. Well, in that Latin method, her nickname Queen Bee, as it's listed down here, Queen Bee sums to 322. News of Chaney's death broke 48 days before Yale's anniversary, and 223 is the 48th prime number. Notice how Skull and Bones has a perfect base Gematria overlap with Tulsa, Oklahoma, where Chaney was born. Now, whether you write out the number 223 or 322 in the alphabetic order, you get Gematria of 295. And in that capitals mixed method, Skull and Bones sums to 295. Now, you do have to capitalize the "and" to get this, which is a little unconventional, but intriguing nonetheless. 295. Notice how University of Houston sums to 295 in ordinal. And on the date of the 2024 total eclipse that passes over both Texas and Arkansas, Reggie Chaney would have been a span of exactly 295 months old. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Whether you're watching live or archived, please feel free to share, like, and subscribe. If you'd like to support the work, in lieu of a Patreon account, I created my own platform on gematrinator.com, so there's a link to the memberships page on the screen and down below in the description. That'll do it for this one. Peace, love, God bless. We'll talk to you next time. See ya.